Hello, fellow historians. Welcome back to another Documenting History episode. Our mission is to record local history for future generations. We know that this is not the most exciting video, the most entertaining video, but I do feel it is important to record our history.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Sharon Barnes-Waters, our service aide. Walter Geis, our writer. Jim Maloney at the editor's desk. I'm Scott Stanford.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good morning, 55 degrees at 7 o'clock on this Monday, October 14th. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. The city will party Italian style today at the annual Columbus Day Parade on Fifth Avenue with another celebration of indigenous peoples on Randall's Island. President Biden announcing millions in federal storm aid for Florida as he tours communities wrecked by Hurricane Milton and Helene. An armed man arrested at a checkpoint outside a Trump rally in California over the weekend, not being called an assassination attempt by the feds just yet. 3 weeks to the election, with both presidential candidates visiting key battleground states over the weekend and again today. And 5 Port Authority police officers hurt in a confrontation with a carjacking suspect on the George Washington Bridge. Well, the NLCS began yesterday with the Mets rocked by the Dodgers 9-0. Game 2 this afternoon at 4. The Giants also lost on Sunday, but the Liberty tied up the WNBA Finals at a game apiece with a win over Minnesota. AccuWeather says some sun today with an early high of 66. Winds News Time 7:01. Traffic and transit on this holiday Monday with Karen Stewart.
Let's start with the great news. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 10 at the Hudson River crossings. 10 minutes in and out of all 3 of them. Queensbound 59th Street Bridge, however, does still have that broken down vehicle on the ramp to the lower level coming from 2nd Avenue, and it's blocking the right lane. Mass transit, we've got delays on the Montclair, Brooklyn, and North Jersey coastlines, as well as cancellations on the Northeast Corridor, Raritan Valley lines with equipment availability issues. The southbound Fs are still reportedly running with delays, and that's all we've got for with mass transit. And as we check what we see on Long Island's Big 3, the Northern State and the LIE are most excellent. The westbound Southern State at the Meadowbrook State Parkway, exit 22, has an accident, but it's off on the shoulder and it shouldn't hold you back too much. New Jersey eastbound 3, the ramp to southbound 21 is closed in Clifton. We have an overturned dump truck with a debris spill out there that callers into the 1010 Winds traffic tip line, and the big parade steps off at 11:30 this morning. 5th Avenue between 42nd and 79th Street through Midtown will be closed. Your Odyssey Lottery recap is presented by Jackpot and Powerball's $388 million and Mega's $169 million. Order official state lottery games on your phone. Must be 18 to roll or play. If you have a gambling problem or need help, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the clock. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Getting underway later this morning, the city's annual celebration of its Italian-American heritage. The 80th New York Columbus Day Parade will make its way along 5th Avenue beginning at 11:30.
Barricades are up and the excitement is building here. Thousands are expected to celebrate the Italian-American culture, which has deep roots in this country, says organizer Lisa Ackerman.
Italians have had a long history in this country. Believe it or not, 2 Italians signed the Declaration of Independence.
She expects about 25,000 people to march down 5th Avenue, including a group from Italy called Italia,
which is a Ministry of Foreign Affairs initiative called Roots Tourism, and they're actually going to have 300 people marching in the parade.
There will also be a float honoring Giovanni de Verrazzano, who discovered New York 500 years ago, and a new float will make its debut celebrating the Italian language. Darius Ramsey's 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM on 5th Avenue at West 46th Street.
And both Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul plan to march today. The parade will work its way up 5th Avenue between 44th and 72nd Streets and is expected to end at 3:30 this afternoon, so make your travel plans accordingly. Now, officially, the city recognizes today's holiday as Italian Heritage Day and Indigenous Peoples Day, and that's been the case since 2021. Returning for its 10th year at Randall's Island is the annual cultural event hosted by the city's Indigenous Peoples Day Committee.
Unity and protection are the themes this Indigenous Peoples Day.
We come protecting our homeland, our mountains, our waters, our land bases, our languages, our lifeways.
That's Auntie Pua from Moko Keave. She says that those attending today's gathering are celebrating and making commitments that they will protect their sacred land and history. Many gatherers like Shanae believe Indigenous Peoples Day has been overshadowed by Columbus Day.
Really triggers the historical, insidious, and generational trauma, but it also creates a present-day trauma and continues to perpetuate the erasure of a people and pretends like none of those things ever happened.
Attendees say these events help their community to deepen, get stronger, be clearer, and pray harder. Amanda Alexander, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at Randall's Island.
And the two-day event wrapping up at 2 this afternoon on Randall's Island. Well, AccuWeather is calling for intervals of clouds and sun on this holiday Monday. Breezy, high 66 early on in the day, but temps will drop into the 50s sometime in the afternoon. It'll get chilly tonight, low 45 under clear to partly cloudy skies. Real feels only in the 30s. Right now we have 55 degrees and partly cloudy skies right now in Midtown. Winds news time, 7:05. As Florida picks up the pieces after Hurricane Milton, President Biden toured hard-hit parts of Tampa and St. Pete Beach yesterday and said that more than $600 million in recovery aid is on the way from Washington. He also recognized all the help that's been pouring into Florida from elsewhere.
President Biden thanked utility workers from around the country for restoring power to nearly 1.8 million customers.
Well, look at the number that showed up from around the country. From Canada, California, Nebraska.
The president is pushing for Congress to return for a special session and approve more aid. But on Face the Nation, House Speaker Mike Johnson told Margaret Brennan he won't ask lawmakers to come back before Election Day.
It would be premature to call everyone back now because these storms are so large in their scope and magnitude.
Early estimates of property damage are upwards of $70 billion.
FEMA has pledged to pay the entire tab for debris cleanup for 90 days, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the aim is to have it finished by then. That was correspondent Tom Hansen. The storm's death toll, meanwhile, has now risen to 23. Officials say it might have been much higher if so many people hadn't followed the advice to evacuate. As of yesterday, nearly 800,000 homes and businesses across the Sunshine State were still without power. Parts of Florida are looking at a very long road to recovery after Milton. Here in the tri-state, people are doing what they can to help, and some are going above and beyond. That includes a New Jersey man who will be headed down with a giant load of supplies.
Dozens of large bags are packed up with these donated goods inside the Mobile Emergency Response Kitchen Truck. Ed Hill is the founder of Merck. First North Carolina this past weekend. Now he's packing up again and heading down to Florida.
No, I'm mainly giving stuff for people that have been displaced from the homes, the people that don't have anything. You know, we worry about not having internet, for a game. These people are worried about, a fresh pair of underwear or, some clean socks.
Hill has local Boy Scout troops helping out packing the donations for a reason.
I believe in giving back and paying it forward, and I want to set an example for the kids, the next generation. And once they load it up, I'm going to head down there so they can see what it's like to give back to family that are hurting.
Safe travels, Ed. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM in Paramus.